It's mailbag time here on Chicago Bears Now. I'm your host, Harrison Graham. Get your questions in, and we'll answer as many of them as we can on today's show. Hashtag Bears to get your questions in. Funkbringer with $2 in Canadian money. Appreciate that. How many games are you going to attend this season? I actually don't know. Here's what I can promise you. If I'm not attending, which maybe we'll go to a game, we'll see. Got to see what the deal is with the bosses. We'll be doing a watch party otherwise. So if I'm not there in person, I'll be live breaking it all down for you. So go ahead and join us for that on that one. Super chat from Don Bird, Detroit top 5 O-line, Detroit versus everybody. Hey, Don Bird, appreciate the money. The stemmy continues to shorten. Jason Toy here. The $5 super. Want to thank Don Burr for all the support on here. LOL, go Bears. That's kind of my attitude. I'm like, hey, if the guy's going to, send us a little bit of cash, it supports the show, it kind of gets the, you guys start talking trash in the comments. It's great. It's a win-win for everyone involved. It's up to you Bears fans to to drown him out at the end of the day. Let's go to Bob Teller here. What if Justin Fields sucks? Well, then he sucks. Guys, quarterbacks bust all the time. It's possible that Justin Fields is a bust. I don't think he will be. I think he's got a lot of attributes that should lead to him being very, very good. But until we see him play, until we see him under the lights, it's all just projection. I mean, there's been plenty of guys in the past that, there's no way this guy flops. And he flops, right? Like, it can happen. I'm not projecting it will. I don't think it will. But, look, 5 quarterbacks got drafted in the first round. If history tells us anything, at least 2, if not 3 of those will flop. Hopefully Justin Fields isn't one of those guys. I don't think he will be. Rim Sleeper, Fields starts over. Will he start over or under half the season for the Bears? I'll say over. The amount of games, we'll see. I've been predicting week 4 or week 5, but it depends on how Andy Dalton starts out the season and if Fields is ready. So we'll have to wait and see. You guys can answer for us as well. How many Fields will Fields start? Fill in the blank. He will start blank games this season. Fill in that. 0 games or 17. That's how many he can start. Obviously, it could be 18 or more if they make the playoffs, but pretty confident he's not starting week 1, so maybe go less than 17 on this one. Jacob Granados, do you think the Bears could get Wilson or the other wide receiver in next year's draft? Garrett Wilson, Ohio State. There's also Chris Olave out of Ohio State. You don't have a first-round pick. So the good news is next year's wide receiver class is loaded. Our draft expert at Chat Sports, Tom Downey, would tell you that it's very deep once again at wide receiver. Some of the names are giving me a blank right now, but I like a lot of the talent in this draft. You got Mechie. You've got, we'll see if Justin Ross recovers. The Clemson wide receiver had the neck issue, had to sit out last season, but there's a lot of big-name receivers once again, and I'm excited to see if the Bears can get one of them in the second round. Zevi B, what do you think our worst record would be and our best record? If everything falls apart, I would say like 5-12. You still are going to have at least an above-average defense. I guess maybe like 4-13, but I just don't see it getting much worse than that. Your best case scenario is probably like 12-5. I mean, the Bears have a tough schedule, guys. They're at the Browns. You got the Rams on the road in week 1. You play the Packers twice if Aaron Rodgers is there. Bucks on the road. You got the Steelers on the road. You play the 49ers, the Ravens. Like, there are some tough games on the schedule. So anywhere between 5 and 12 wins, like worst case scenario 5 and 12, best case scenario 12 and 5, probably somewhere in the middle if we're being realistic. We got a super chat from DJ. If you were the owner of the Bears, would you rather stay in Chicago and renovate Soldier Field or relocate to a new city to a brand new stadium? I mean, I would rather stay in Chicago. I mean, the Bears have always been in Chicago, but, it really comes down to a couple of things. What makes the most economic sense, because whether you guys like it or not, that is what factors in more than anything. The Bears are a business. They're entertaining, they want to win, but number one, they want to make money. If they feel like they can make more money in Arlington Heights, That's probably what they're going to do at the end of the day. But if you can add 15,000 seats to Soldier Field and have a major renovation, think about Wrigley. Wrigley got a great upgrade of several years ago, and it's one of the nicer stadiums again. Like, it's possible. It's just you need the city support, and there's a lot of unfortunately political factors at play there. So we will see what happens. But just remember, all this stuff comes down to money at the end of the day. If you love the Bears, hey, then you'll love Chicago Bears Now. Hit that big red button and subscribe today. YouTube.com/Bears Now. Hey, we bring you videos almost every single day here on the channel, so go ahead and hit that big red button. Got some mailbag questions to get into here on Bears Now. Lawrence is up. Who needs to step it up this season the most? I don't want to put so much pressure on the rookie. I think Justin Fields in 2022 is the obvious answer there. How about the offensive line as a whole? I think the O-line has to be at least league average, if not above average, because this is still a team, especially in Fields' rookie season, that wants to run the football with David Montgomery. You brought in Damian Williams. We'll see if Tariq Cohen's runs the ball a lot, probably more used as a gadget receiver type. Khalil Herbert could get into the mix. And when Andy Dalton's been most successful, it's been run the football first, play action, quick, easy throws, and winning downs, 2nd and 5, 3rd and 2. Like that's when he was successful in Cincinnati. So if he's in there, that's what you want. And even with Fields, he's a great play action quarterback. Got to run the football. So I think the offensive line has to be better this year. Ryan Pullman, will Ridley get a chance this year? He's got to make the team. Hey, you guys act like Riley Ridley has just been screwed over somehow. Like, at the end of the day, he gets every opportunity that these other guys get. You got to prove yourself. He just hasn't been that effective when he's been given chances. Like, sure, when you see Javon Wims drop a touchdown in the playoffs, you're like, well, why wasn't Ridley out there? Well, I just refuse to believe that the Bears coaching staff is stupid and is like, well, we're going to play the worst player even though Riley Ridley's better. Guys, teams don't operate that way. Like, just because his last name is Ridley doesn't mean he's great. He may not be that good. And I think so far, his early career would tell us he's probably just not good enough. That could change, but as of now, he's just kind of an afterthought. Busy Womack, is Trufant doing anything to justify him being CB2? I haven't heard much. For vets like him, a guy over 30, you can't really take much from OTAs and minicamp. Training camp will tell the story. We'll do a training camp roster battles type of video at some point, probably in the next couple of weeks. Cornerback's a big one. Like, is Trufant going to be your number 2 corner? Is Kendall Vildor? Will Artie Burns step in? I think those are all questions that we are still working through. But I think really he's just penciled in there because he's a vet and has had a good career. But as of late, he obviously hasn't been that good, which is why I wasn't that high on the move at the time, and I'm still not. Joel Fernandez, will our defense be top 10 with Desai? If we still had Fuller right now, we would have a top 5 defense. If you had Fuller with Desai, I'm with you. This would be an elite group. But I don't think the loss of Fuller means like, oh, you're like an average defense now. Like, you guys probably don't want to hear this, but Jalen Johnson, for a lot of the season last year, was actually better in coverage than Fuller. Now, Fuller's a vet. He's been there. He's done that. He's a leader type. I get all that stuff. But if you can get adequate, what is adequate? Average play at CB2 opposite of Jalen Johnson, assuming he continues to progress, I think the secondary will be okay. I like Tayshaun Gibson. I think Eddie Jackson bounces back. This could be a top 5 defense. Top 10, I feel pretty good about them being a top 10 group, but I'm not ready to say top 5. What game are you this upcoming season are you most excited for? Golly. I'll say this. If the Packers keep Aaron Rodgers, Fields versus Rodgers at Soldier Field in, let's see, when is that? That's October 17th. I got the schedule pulled up here. That would be pretty fun. That would be electric. That'd be a fun game to go to. Let us know, which game are you most exciting for this upcoming season? Rick Bernico, assuming he's not traded, how much can or will Nick Foles help Justin Fields? The thing about Nick Foles, he's a great teammate. I guarantee you he's already helped him a decent amount. Now, we've already read stories. Andy Dalton took and his wife took Fields out to dinner. He's been a supportive teammate of the draft pick as well. But Foles has never had a problem being a good backup. What does a good backup do other than stepping in and playing well when needed to? He's helping the offense on the side, while the defense is on the field. Hey, looking at the tablets. Hey, Justin, I'm identifying this coverage here, that coverage there. Like, Foles has always been good about that because he's been a backup for a lot of his career. I have no doubts that he'll have the right attitude and be a pro, which I fully expect Nick Foles to be. TCH, Steven Nelson or Richard Sherman? Really just price. I mean, whoever's cheaper is who I would prefer. I think Nelson, actually coming off last year, was probably better than Sherman, but if you told me the Bears signed Richard Sherman over Nelson, I'd be like, okay, that's fine. Just give me another corner, please. Like, I have major concerns with Desmond Trufant, so maybe Kendall Vilder will shock us all and just ball out, and he's the answer, but I'd feel a lot better if a guy like Nelson or Sherman came through. I don't really care which one it is because I think both can be quality options here. How about you guys? Get your votes in. Type SN for Steven Nelson, RS for Richard Sherman. Who would you rather have on the Chicago Bears? For me, it comes down to price. Type P for price if you want, but I would feel a lot better if one of these guys walked through the door. Phyllis, do you think Dalton can beat the Rams pass rush? It's going to be a good test for this Bears offensive line, right? Tevin Jenkins, I could see the Bears lining Aaron Donald on him early in the game just to send a message over there at left tackle. Dalton's good when you're having him get the ball out of his hands quickly. 1-2 reads, get the ball out. So it's going to be a tough test. Dalton has never been a great player in prime time. That's a Sunday Night Football game. So, that could be a game that gets ugly. We'll just have to wait and see how it plays out here in a couple of months. Be mindful how many smoking Jays that this is the best Bears channel on YouTube. We like to think 4 smoking Jays that bear down because it's definitely the best Bears channel on YouTube. But really, that's up to you guys. This is a democracy. You guys can vote. You guys can let us know, give us feedback. We're proud of the work we do. I think the subscriber total, which is closing in on 30K, would suggest that you guys are a big fan of the show as well. And if you're a fan of what we're doing, maybe you stumbled on the show for the first time, subscribe. Hit that big red button because we have weekly live streams and we have videos coming out every single day.